Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky and you can find me on Instagram as @BeckyKnits and on Ravelry as Becky Mundy. If you are a returning viewer, then thank you for coming back. And if you are a new viewer, thank you very much for joining me. Hello to my new subscribers. Yeah, I have been a little bit blown away by the number of people who have been chatting to me and have been subscribing to my channel and watching my last video and catching up on old videos. Yeah, it has been I'm just a bit speechless really, you know. You know, yeah, I'm not like obsessed about the numbers. I'm not trying to get as many subscribers as I can, but it is obviously really nice to just see more and more people like enjoying my videos, and it's really nice to be chatting to more and more of you. So thank you very much everybody who's subscribing and commenting on my videos. Yeah. So if you didn't watch my East Anglia Yarn Fest sort of mini vlog thing and my haul, then I will leave a link to it somewhere down here, up here, I don't know. Then you can go and watch that if you like. I understand that like those kind of videos are not necessarily for everybody. Some people just like to see the podcast and then like, you know, haul stuff in with the video. So I'm going to show you a few of the things that I bought at the Yarn Fest at the weekend, but not everything. I've just picked a couple of things that I'm going to show you in acquisitions, because I haven't bought anything else. I've not bought more yarn since East Anglia Yarn Fest. Like what? And very quickly I'll talk about what I am wearing. I feel like we are entering like perfect hand knit kind of t-shirt weather. It's like warmer, I was gonna say warm, yeah, it's warmer, but you still need like a little bit of something for a little bit of warmth, because the wind can still be quite chilly. But yeah, I am wearing my summer sorrel t-shirt. I made it 2 years ago I think, and this is knit in Tropical Fish from Skein and a Stitch. So yeah, I don't have very many t-shirts really, not the ones that I can wear with jeans. I've got a couple of like cropped, this is cropped, but it's cropped for high-waisted jeans. I've got a couple of t-shirts that I made more to kind of just go over a like skater flare dress kind of thing. So yeah, I need to work on my hand knit t-shirt collection. I think I am working on one that I cast on probably like this time last year, and I would like to do a bit more work on that. So maybe I'll pull that out a little bit later on and show you that if I can remember anything about it. So this week I'm very excited to say that I have some finished things to show you. Feels like maybe it hasn't been that long since I've had finished things to show you, but it feels like it's been a long time since I've had finished things to show you. So I have got 2 half finished objects and then just a regular FO. So let's start with the half finished objects, because they are only half finished, but they're still finished. First is my socks from the Knitting Goddess. I keep wanting to say the Yarn Goddess, but the Knitting Goddess. I decided that I wanted to have a plain black foot. I don't know why, I just thought it'd be nice to have a plain black foot. I might, because I'll have extra yarn from the flag skein. Whoops, knitting needles everywhere, oh dear. I'll have loads of this left, so I think I might make myself some little fingerless mitts. They'll be really useful for like markets, like when I do markets with my artwork or whatever, in the colder months. It would be nice to have some fingerless mitts. So I'm just going to pick up all of those sharp pointy things before I step on something. So yeah, so the stripes, the non-binary flag stripes are from the Knitting Goddess. She's got like a whole range of pride flags on her site, and then the black is just a West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply thing. And I knit these on a 9-inch circular. I think I mentioned when I started these last episode. Was it only last episode? So they've been quick. It's been a quick knit. So it's, yeah, it's taken me like 2 weeks to make them, because I think I didn't podcast last week. So I used the Knit Pro 9-inch circulars, and they are 2.25, I think. No, yeah, 2.25, because I thought usually people recommend sizing down, but the yarn shop didn't have the 2.25, didn't have the 2. My brain didn't have the 2, so I couldn't size down. And I was too impatient to wait, so I just bought the 2.25. I do have a 2 in the higher sharps, but they are so sharp that it hurts my fingers. So, but now that I've actually completed a whole sock with the 9-inch circulars, I might feel like I can give the higher another shot. But yeah, this was super fast. It was really easy to pick up. Like, this is something that I'm learning about myself, is that most of the time the projects that I'm working on, unless I've got the mental energy to look at patterns and sit down and think in the evenings, then the projects I'm working on need to be the kind of thing that I can just pick up, put down, and not worry about where I am in the pattern and things like that. Those are the projects that I work on the most. And so even with like Magic Loop, I kind of feel like I need to finish a needle. I don't want to leave the needles like halfway through a row or halfway through a round. But with this, there isn't really like there's no difference really at the beginning of a round to the middle of the round. And so as long as you've got your markers in there, so you know how many rounds you've done, or you know where you are, that it doesn't, putting it down and picking it up is super, super easy. So that has been something that's been really great about these socks. They are also a lot more portable. The biggest part of it has been like the balls of yarn that I've had. So yeah, I mean, if I was doing a scrappy sock or something where I was just working with like little balls, then it could potentially be just like crazy portable. So yeah, I've really enjoyed working on these. I did commit the cardinal sin of not immediately casting on the second sock, but I'm going to try and get that cast on today, and then hopefully I can just be back into making these, and then I'll have a fresh pair of socks perfectly in time for it getting too hot to wear hand-knit socks. Oh well. But yeah, so really enjoyed knitting these. I had no problems knitting the heel on the 9-inch circulars. It was a little bit fiddly, but not really any more so than doing it on Magic Loop. Yeah, the only thing that was definitely more fiddly was the toe. So with my toes, I do decrease round every other round until I have half the number of stitches on the needles, and I had to switch to DPNs just to do those like last few rounds, because it wouldn't stretch round on the needle. I've seen the post fan and I'm like, semi-expecting stuff, so I was a bit like, ooh, maybe the post is for me. Sorry, distracted. Last week there was like, or last podcast, there was some like, we've had some drama on our road, and last time I podcast there was stuff going on outside, so I did have like my podcast, the footage was like an hour and a half long, because I did spend about 20 minutes just staring out the window at the drama unfolding. But yeah, I'm that neighbour, I'm like super nosy. Anyway, so that's that one, that there. I'll put all of this away, and then I have another sock finished. Here we go. And this is the I guess it's the third sock in my like testing out a pattern that I'm designing. Yeah, this is my finished Bookshelves sock in the colourway Flash Dance from Homespun House, complete with coffee stain where I dipped my knitting in my coffee while I was out in a cafe. So that was great. But yeah, so hopefully with the completion of this sock, it means that I can, once I've washed it, won't focus, I don't know why. Once I've washed it, I can write up the pattern, and then it might be released before the end of the year. But yeah, there we go. I will at some point knit the second sock, but I need another pair of plain socks on the needles. I feel like these ones, I've been knitting them for quite a long time, and so they've kind of got some bad juju about them at the moment. I really love how the pattern looks, and you know, it's my pattern, so I'm not going to say anything bad about it. There's nothing wrong with the pattern, just putting that out there. But this project really kind of like was one of the last things I was working on before I like really hit a knitting slump. So it's kind of got some, yeah, it just felt like, I think I put the pressure on myself to get a pattern designed and get it out and get it ready for people to test knit, and I think the whole thing was just too stressful, and that's kind of like seeped into the project. I have a pair of finished socks in this pattern that I really love, but the project itself is like steeped with like, yeah, knitting slump vibes. So this might go away for a little while, and then at some point, maybe in the summer when I want to knit something really, really bright, then I will come back and knit the second one. It's quite a nice length for a like summery sock, I think. When I'm wearing a pair of like trainers or something like that, that would be quite nice. I am now at a point where I can, oh, I've just realised that I forgot to stop my watch when I came back from dropping Aiden off at school, so it looks like I've been cycling for like 40 minutes, so there we go. Love it. Yeah, so hopefully the pattern will be in a position where I can get it out soon, but we'll see. Please don't hold me to it. Please don't hold me to it. So those are the two half-finished objects, which brings us on to the final finished object, and that is my Garter Snake Cowl, DK, Garter Snake Cowl, and I love it. It was so much fun to knit. The colours are perfect. Yeah, I love it. It's obviously too warm to wear it now. It's supposed to be a bit cooler over the weekend, but yeah, it's perfect. I had to stop early because I didn't have enough yarn, but for me personally, this is like the perfect length. It's the perfect length. I don't like too much around my neck, otherwise I just feel like I'm being suffocated. So yeah, I am not sad that I couldn't get the full length that the pattern called for. So yeah, I just absolutely love it. It's so squishy. That brioche. Love me a Brit of brioche. Love me a Brit of brioche, I do. So yeah. And the yarns were from Game of Crafting. They did a like mystery bundle, and I got 2 skeins of DK and they went straight into this. Yeah, I think it's been maybe a month, just over a month since I got my mystery thing, and yeah, and it's already finished. So, and it's pretty inside as well, but I did make a few mistakes, so like in the beginning just sort of slipped a few things wrong. So I mean, honestly, no one's going to notice. I can't remember who else I was talking to about it. Somebody at East Anglia Yarn Fest, we were talking about being really like overly critical of your work, and how, yeah, nobody but you knows if there's a mistake in it. You know, I mean, hold it back here, have it on your neck, hold it back here, and you cannot see the mistakes. But obviously I know they're there, so I'm like, I can't wear it that way around because it's got a mistake in it. But anyway, also, I mean, I've sewn my ends in on this side, but still, you can't even see that. Oh, I love it. I really love it. Highly, highly recommend that pattern. Obviously, links will be down below. And then other than those things, the thing I have been working most on, and I wasn't going to show this to you because I have shown it to you lots and it's not finished yet, but I thought, you know what, I haven't really got any other whips to show you, so I will show this to you. It is nearly done. Next time you see this, it will be finished. Here's my garter stitch blanket. Oh, so I think the last time I showed it to you was here in the orange, maybe. So I've added a good few colours since then. I'll move my marker so that I don't forget where I am. But like I say, next time you see it, it will be done. I have 3, well, actually have, now that this colour is on the go, I have 2 more colours to add. So yeah, I've ended up with quite a sort of pinky end. At the beginning I was like, oh, I'm going to really sort of plan it out. I was going to have like a darker and then a light, dark, light, dark, light, and then it was kind of like this kind of didn't really continue, but the colours all work really well together. So yeah, I am really, really excited to have this blanket finished. Again, perfectly in time for it getting too hot, but it would be nice to have a new blanket to use come the cooler months. I can like pack it away and then just look forward to using it because it is so squishy. And actually in the evenings it's still a little bit cool, and you know, we're going to be doing some camping this year, so again, sitting outside, it will be cool. So it'll be nice for things like that. So there we are. That is in my I didn't tell you the bags for my other ones, sorry about that. In my So Can Joe bag. The yarn is the Christmas in July calendar advent type thing from the Lonely Knitter 3 years ago. Yeah, maybe about 3 years ago, and it's finally about to be done, and it's been in this bag since I opened it. So yeah, it's time for it to be finished and then I can use the bag for something else. So that's everything that I have actively been working on. I kind of feel like I'm getting a little hint of like finish up itis. Oh, sorry, clatter. Yeah, so I'm wanting to finish things which is a really nice feeling after having just started lots of things recently. I usually try to hold off starting things like on a whim. Like in the past I've tried to sort of be like, no, I must finish the things that I've got on the needles before I start knitting something else. But like, why? Why? So I've just been casting on, I think I've said this a couple of times as well, I've just been casting on whatever I feel like casting on, and I've been like planning projects, and it has just, yeah, it's just been like a much more enjoyable experience of knitting than like giving myself all of these rules and things like that. So yeah, but having cast on all of the things, I am now feeling like I still want to cast stuff on, but I also want to finish stuff as well, or like want to work on stuff. I think I mentioned last episode that I used to very much be like a product knitter. I would just do whatever it was because I wanted the thing at the end, and whether that meant that I didn't do a gauge swatch, or whether it meant that I would like be like, oh, this is big enough, I'll just won't do any more repeats or whatever, and then it wouldn't be big enough, you know, I would cut corners to try and finish things faster, and surprise surprise, it doesn't work out with you getting the product that you actually want, because you're cutting corners and you're not doing it the way that it's been designed to be done. So yeah, but now I feel like I'm much more of a process knitter, and as such I'm happy to just do like a couple of rounds on something and then switch to something else and just enjoy what all of my different projects have to offer me. I've got a couple of projects where I need to look at the charts to get the like lace patterns right. I've got a couple of projects that I've got stripes in where I just need to count the number of rows that I've done. I've got plain socks and pattern socks. Yeah, so I've got a variety of things on. But part of my wanting to finish things up, yesterday and the day before, I did a quick sort of stock take of my whips, and I have something like 6 pairs of socks on the go. I've got 3 or 4 blankets, maybe 4 blankets, 2 shawls, a t-shirt. Feels like quite a good mix of stuff. And I just had a look to see which ones I felt like pulling out and giving a little bit more attention to. So I did pull out my Stephen West Shawlography, because I still really like working on this, and or I have enjoyed working on this. I would still like to have it at the end. Everything that I pulled out, I was like, yep, I still definitely want this at the end of the process. So I put everything back. I regularly do this, go through my projects and just see if there's anything that I'm like, you know what, I'm not so fussed about that anymore. But this was one that I was definitely like, yeah, A, I have put enough time into it that I would like to have it at the end, and B, I like it. I like the colours that I picked, and I have seen the finished ones now and I know that I'm gonna like it. I think the only thing I want to think about is whether or not I want to do the border with the like chunks of colour, or whether I want to do something different, but we'll see. I am not there yet. So post. I don't know if it's exciting post. I'll finish talking and then I'll go and see. But yeah, so I'm gonna work on this a little bit more as well. I have pulled it out, so it's now in my like within reach when I'm sitting on the sofa, and yeah, so I'm going to work a little bit more on that one. And then I've been thinking about casting on so I've got a t-shirt that I am working on, which is the Salty Air tee. And I really like how that looks. I'm using some of my own hand-dyed yarns to make that, and yeah, and I like it. I need to switch out some stitch markers because I used some quite big stitch markers to mark between the repeats in the lace, and I would like to switch to my little, if you watched my haul from East Anglia Yarn Fest, I bought some of the sort of just the little circle, like gold circle ones, and I'd like to put those in to mark between my repeats instead of the other ones because the other ones are too big and clunky. Really thirsty today. So I'm working on that, but I would also like one of the sea glass tees by Wool and Pine Design. It uses up scraps and minis, and I would like one. I've seen a couple and really liked them, and I have not thought that I had enough minis or scraps and things to do one. And then when I was looking through my whips yesterday, I found like some larger, like finished a pair of socks, and this is what I had left, kind of balls. I don't want it to be super scrappy with like tiny like 5-10 gram balls, although I think some of these are actually quite small because they came from like advents and things, but I don't want like, you know, yeah, really short lengths because I don't want to have like 3,000 ends to sew in. But I've got, you know, a nice range of colours. I just need to decide whether or not I think it's going to be too busy. I think I need to think about that a little bit more methodically before I dive in. If you're not aware of the sea glass tee, it's like a 1x1 colour work, so you have 2 yarns on the go and you knit a stitch in one colour and then you knit the stitch in the other colour, and you alternate back and forth until you run out of one of the colours and then you bring in a different colour. So I don't know whether I want to go for like a background colour, maybe get like a nice kind of, I don't know what colour I would go for, but a solid colour, and then bring in the more colourful stuff. So I could go for like a sort of green or something maybe. I don't know, some of these wouldn't really work with the green. This is where I'm going to have to think about it. So I could go for like a cream or something like that, just to give a solid background, and then bring in my colourful scraps. So I don't know. What do you think? If you have made one, or if you have had ideas for one, let me know down below, or come over onto Instagram and share your project with me, because I would really like to see what lots of other people are doing. I'll have a look on Ravelry as well, but I don't use Ravelry a lot anymore. So there we go. That is it for FOs and whips and possible upcoming whips. So we will move into some acquisitions. Oh, so I'm going to go and check to see if anything exciting came in the post. Bear with me. Nope. Nothing exciting came in the post for me today. But that's fine, because that means that probably next week I will have a couple of things, because I am expecting 2, maybe 3 things. So we'll see. But I brought down a couple of bits that I picked up from East Anglia Yarn Fest. So here is my bag of holding that I showed you last time. It was very useful. Yeah, not as big as I had imagined, but it was a tote bag that was very useful, and I got a lot of compliments on it. Hannah from Corner of Craft like literally took it from me to show to Mario. So yeah, it was a popular bag. Let me get the crinkly things out. So I have brought, I mentioned last time that I had pre-ordered some of Helen from Giddy Yarn's Hobbit colourways, so I thought I would bring those and the other things that I ordered from Helen, because I mentioned those last time. and those were kind of like, they didn't really count as like a show purchase because I bought them before I went to the show, so it doesn't count, right? I did ask everybody that I saw about that, and everybody agreed with me that they didn't count as a festival purchase because I bought them before. So there we go. So I'll show you those, and then I brought one skein with me from somebody that I think I followed them on Instagram, but I hadn't really seen them. I hadn't really looked at their yarn, so they were kind of like brand new to me. So I thought I would bring that and show you on here as well. So from Giddy Yarns, I got 3 of the Hobbits colourways. We've got Lonely Mountain, Bjorn the Shapeshifter, and Don't Leave the Path. I also bought the Wandering Wizard, but that one is coming in the post to me. She didn't have that one to give me at the show, which is fine because it means exciting yarn coming in the post. Yeah, this one particularly is just, I mean, they're all stunning, but this one, I'm a real sucker for these like blues and purples. So yeah, so this one is probably going to be, oh, these two are probably going to be socks for Andrew, although very tempted to do some kind of project with the both of them together. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, those are the two that Andrew liked the look of when I showed him the colourways, and this one is definitely going to be something for me. Yeah, the Wandering Lizard, the Wandering Wizard, and this one will go really nicely together. So I think I might have a look and see if there's like a shawl or something that I can make with the two of those. So I'll see when it arrives. And then also from Giddy Yarn, Sprinkle Sprinkle, I picked up a couple of her like spares from Mini Club from, I guess, last year, maybe the year before, I'm not sure. This one is Middle Earth Minis Club Return of the King December, and the colours are, hang on, this is the Fellowship Reunited, Aragorn Crowned, Evenstar, Saruman Shire, and Grey Havens. So those are really pretty, and I want to order more of her spares. She had some there and at the show, and I was really tempted to buy them, but I was kind of like, I've bought so much so far that I wanted to like spread the love, you know, spread the love. I also got Middle Earth Minis Club, the Fellowship of the Ring June, and this is Gimli Son of Gloin, the Balrog, Legolas, Galadriel, the Breaking of the Fellowship. There we are. The other nice thing about this is I believe she's going to be using these minis for inspiration for some collections coming up. So these colourways were minis in this collection of Mini Club. I'm not talking very well now. And so it's quite nice to see in the wool what the colourways might look like for the next clubs that she's doing. So that was part of my reasoning for buying them, kind of. And then finally, the Stephen King colourway. The colourways aren't on the back, but this Stephen King mini skeins. So this is the 10 gram, all of them are 10 gram minis. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. And then the Final thing that I will show you from my haul is from Temporal Spin. I want to say temporal, but I think it's probably just temporal. Temporal Spin. And this is the Dragon Scale colourway, and it is so beautiful. Like, it feels iridescent even though it can't be because it's yarn. You know, the way the light catches it, the way the colours blend together, it really just gives that kind of iridescent, like, magical, mythical feel of, yeah, Dragon Scale. So I really, really love it. And I was chatting with oh god, I can't remember her name. I was chatting with the dyer for a long time about all kind of nerdy things, and yeah, and I was like, out of the corner of my eye, I was like looking at this. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to buy that. So yeah, and I kind of know what I want to make with it, and I don't know if the pattern exists, so it could end up being something that I design myself. We shall see, but there we go. So that is beautiful, and it's a 75/25 merino, superwash merino and nylon. Yeah, love it. And that is it. So that's all I brought to show you. I'm sure you will see other things coming out. I bought a couple of things from Hannah at the Corner of Craft, including a little stitch marker, which is super cute, and I will show that to you next time I show you my gamer crafting blanket, because I've put that stitch marker on that blanket. So yeah, and I bought some fibre for spinning. Even though I haven't spun anything for a long time, this fibre just really spoke to me. So yeah, I bought that too. So I've just got some water in this, but I wanted to just take this moment to show off my Grumpy Florence sticker. This is one of the things that I sell at markets. She's been quite popular, so I thought I'd snag one before they all sold out. But yeah, everybody that sees her says, I have a cat like that, or I know a cat like that. So I'm also drinking tea, because when am I not drinking tea? Oh. So that is it. So hopefully next time I'll have the next instalment of the Gamer Crafting Blanket Club, and the other of my Giddy Yarns yarn, and possibly I will have my final Patreon mini from a Homespun house. I can't remember how it works out. I think I've had 2, and I think I subscribed for 3 months, so I think I should be expecting another one, but I don't know how it works, so we'll see. But I decided to stop doing the Patreon because I was doing the blanket club, so there's only so many things that I can commit to per month. So yeah, and that's it. And then only other things that I'm like looking at the moment are advents. I think I said on Instagram yesterday, like how many advents is too many advents, because yeah, I have decided to make things like a little bit easier and also a bit cheaper for me, that I'm just going to focus on UK dyers, and that's definitely kind of reduced my pool. I got the Homespun House one last year, which I loved, and I've wanted a Homespun House advent calendar for a long time, but I've had one now, and I feel like it would be nice to do somebody else's. So at the moment I'm looking at Jess from Skein and the Stitch, and also Hannah at the Corner of Craft. So we'll see. Neither of them have, so Jess has announced what hers is going to be. It's going to be like Hobbit themed, and I know a little bit about Hannah's because I'm in her Patreon, so I've been doing some of the voting, but I don't know all of the details yet. So we'll just see prices, payment plans, things like that, to see whether or not I go for both or whether I pick one. So yeah, so Jess does have a couple of options. So what I might do is I might do like Hannah's advent, like daily advent, and then do Jess's weekly advent, just to mix it up a little bit, but I don't know, we'll see. There's just the FOMO is really real when it comes to things like that. Like, I don't want to miss out on anything. But anyway, so yeah, those are the things I'm sort of looking at saving up for at the moment. Yeah, what else? Kind of slipping into live stuff now, so if you are not interested in hearing me talk about my life, that's fine. Thank you for watching. There'll be links to everything that I've talked about today down below. A link to my East Anglia Yarn Fest video will be down below as well, so thank you. Yeah, live stuff. It's been what feels like quite a crazy busy week, but also, I don't know, Monday, Tuesday I think I was just exhausted from the weekend, so I didn't feel great. I had like vertigo, and it was making me feel nauseous, so I was like, this isn't great. So I did do COVID tests just to be on the safe side after being at the festival, and it was all clear, so that's fine. And then I feel better now, so I don't know, possibly just one of those things. It's been a while since I've done a festival, and also there was lots of chatting and things like that, so that really drains me. So yeah, it's possibly just being tired. But yeah, so I didn't do much Monday and Tuesday. It was basically just sitting on the sofa, doing a bit of knitting, watching my children play, things like that. Yeah, and then yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I felt better. Anyway, I could sit and chat for hours. I need a knit group. The knitting group that I started like last year like finished in September because I started going to sign language class on a Wednesday night, so that finished. So now I'm like knit nightless, so I feel like I just talked to you about all of the things that I would talk to my knit nighters about. So maybe we need to do a knit night like once a month or something, a Zoom knit night. There's lots of Zoom knit nights, maybe we don't need another one. So anyway, I'm gonna go. My goodness. Thank you very much for watching, and again, thank you very much for the response to my last video and for chatting to me, and yeah, so I will go now. And I will see you next time. Bye.